Do you get that feeling that you're always in the slowest moving lane on the motorway? If you find that you are always stuck in the slowest moving traffic, this video is going to be useful. It's going to help you to deploy a strategy to ensure that you choose the fastest flowing lane of traffic. Overall, braking is the real enemy of the flow of traffic. If one car brakes, the car behind will brake a little more, and the car behind that will brake a little more. And then a mile or so down the line, the entire flow of traffic has halted. It's come to a complete stop. And I think the big culprit of that is down to drivers driving too close. They don't allow enough distance between them, and they're forced to overreact when the car in front of them brakes. This is why on a road that has no closures, no obstructions in lanes, we come to a crashing halt. We have smart motorways. I'll let you debate in the comments what you think about smart motorways, but generally speaking, at peak times, the speed limit is reduced, and that speed limit reduction enables a better flow of traffic. The overall traffic throughput on smart motorways where the speed limit is restricted at peak time is about 15% better. And that goes some way to show that often a steady maintained pace is better than fast bursts of acceleration and speed and then sudden braking and slowing up. Think now about the lanes in the road. We're going to talk about a 3-lane road, but obviously this also applies to 4, 5, 6-lane roads, whatever you have in your area. Now in the UK, generally speaking, the inside lane is where you find the lorry drivers, the HGV drivers. These are more experienced drivers. They're generally at the top end of driving ability because they've had much more additional training. They're dealing with much heavier vehicles. They have to maintain a constant speed which is slower than the speed limits. Often these vehicles are limited to 56 miles an hour for argument's sake. And that slow, steady pace combined with their ability to anticipate the road ahead and leave sufficient buffer generally keeps that inside lane rolling. We're going to talk about junctions though, because that certainly comes into play, particularly on this lane, because if you have a slip road coming up, there is often a big bottleneck leading up to that slip road, particularly if it's a very busy slip road and the cars are just overly congested in that junction, and it can cause tailbacks and slow ups on the motorway. Knowing that a junction like that is coming up, we would anticipate that and move out into the other lanes where the traffic is going to flow better. And often after these junctions, providing there's not a lane joining the motorway, you'll also find that traffic flows better on that inside lane. Using that one strategy will generally allow you to make better progress. But let's think about the other lanes on the road. The middle lane is probably the one that has the most disruption from the other 2 lanes. Drivers on the inside lane and the outside lane are both entering and exiting that middle lane. And that can often lead to more congestion and bigger slow ups or periods of pulsed slow ups and steady speed, more so in that middle lane than in the other lanes. The outside lane, the overtaking lane, it generally attracts the faster flowing traffic. Cars that are in a hurry tend to go in this lane. They tend to average a higher speed over short bursts, but that braking effect cuts in. You often have this overly dramatic slow up happening in that outside lane. A lot depends on the overall road ahead, and in a motorway you generally have a good view of the road ahead, and if you see brake lights, that is a warning that your lane is going to start slowing up and coming to a crashing halt at some point, and that would be the opportunity to smoothly and effectively move into one of the other lanes where you don't see these brake lights. Use your brain and try and anticipate the traffic flow well in advance so you can move into another lane cleanly without causing disruption to the drivers behind you. Follow the example of the HGVs, the experienced drivers, and keep a buffer in front of you. It should at least be your stopping distance. That buffer will enable you to slow up rather than brake and hopefully avoid this ripple effect behind you of cars braking ever harder, coming to a crashing halt. Keep an eye on your satellite navigation. There's generally a traffic flow. You often get warnings of incidents up ahead, and if there's a warning about an incident on the inside lane, you get the rubberneckers, the people that slow up to see the incident. There's just something about a crashed car or a motorist stuck at the side of the road or the police doing something at the side of the road that forces us all to take our eyes off the road, slow right up and have a good old look. If we know something like that is coming up, move to the outside lanes where the view of the incident is limited, therefore the distraction is limited and the traffic will generally flow a little bit better. You may even spot on your traffic app that there's red or amber coming up, and if there's a junction, employ the junction rule. Move away from that inside lane where the junction tailback is going to be snarling up and move swiftly into the middle or the outside lanes where the traffic is flowing better. Understanding the types of drivers and the inherent advantages and disadvantages of being in a certain lane at certain points, like a junction coming up ahead or just heavy traffic, will enable us to make better decisions and avoid those slow moving bottlenecks. If you've enjoyed the video, please boot that like button. That really does help us to get out there. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the great content we've got coming up, and I've lined up this video and this playlist that you should find really interesting. Thanks for watching. See you in these next videos.